Senator Boyce.
Thank you very much, Mr President. My question is to the Minister for Indigenous Affairs, Senator Scullion. Can the Minister please outline to the Senate the impact of the government schools attendance strategy in improving school attendance in remote Indigenous communities? Minister
for Indigenous Affairs, Senator Scullion.
I thank Senator Boyce for the question, and I acknowledge her long-standing interest in this area. Getting children to school is a #1 priority for this government, and I suspect, and I know many of you around the chamber, there'd be no disagreements with that. It's one of those areas that we'd all sort of agree on. So it's something that, as I said, not only I'm passionate about, but I think it is probably one of the #1 priorities across Parliament. It's absolutely critical to closing the gap. We're having a look at the Closing the Gap report. Many of us who are close to it would acknowledge that it should be a bit of a muted celebration tomorrow. Sadly, we're not doing anywhere near as good as we should be doing in terms of closing the gap, and I talk about that as a parliament rather than a political statement. First of all, we've got to break what is become a convention, and I suspect over the last few decades it's increased in its intensity, but certainly children have basically been deciding to go to school or not go to school themselves. Elders tell me just a few decades ago children did go to school. They were well educated, and that's significantly changed. A 2013 COAG reform report tells us that there's been no improvement in the last 5 years. In fact, it's gone backwards. So a child that attends less than 80% of the time of a curriculum has no chance of passing that curriculum. Only 13% of children in Aboriginal communities in the Northern Territory last year attended sufficiently to even have a chance of attending that. So I've put the remote school attendance strategy into place. We're employing 400 school attendance officers, of which 250 are in place, and the remainder are just around the corner. I'd like to acknowledge the help from all the teachers, the local principals, the employment service providers, and particularly our partners in the state and territory governments. This is going to be a long, hard road. The initial indicators are 13% increase across the board.
Order.
Without the cyclone in Palm Island, it would have been...
Time has expired. Senator Boyce.
A supplementary question, Mr President. Can the Minister tell us whether the government school attendance strategy has been well received within the Indigenous community?
Minister.
This is actually, and I guess it's one of those times, when this works well, it's no point saying well done, Nigel, because there's really not a lot to do with me. This is a community-driven initiative. This is driven from the communities. It uses employment from the communities. It has 100% Aboriginal employment. The supervisors are all from the community. It's been community-driven in those places where we've engaged with the Cultural Authority, and I'd like to commend the work and assistance of Dr Ginini Gondara, who's made significant impacts and has even gone as far as to declare that a parent's cultural responsibilities should extend to school attendance. We've had many other conversations with many other community leaders, and again I thank them for their particular assistance in all of these matters. I think hopefully this should be a change about how we all approach this matter. This is about empowering local communities. It's about harnessing this task to a cultural authority, and
Order.
that's the only way we're going to get on top of this.
Senator Boyce.
Thank you. Second supplementary, Mr President. Can the Minister advise the Senate about any other commentary regarding the strategy on school attendance?
Minister.
I thank the Minister again for the question. It's well known that I want to take a seriously bipartisan approach to the use of this, my whole portfolio, but particularly the issue of school attendance. I have to say I was pretty disappointed with Shane Newman's immediate commentary.
You need to refer to people in the other place by their title.
To Minister Newman. He put out a media release on the 20th of December last year saying that this was just simply a thought bubble, and why hadn't I actually bothered to talk to communities about it? Well, this initiative was about 3 years of consultation. This is exactly what the communities asked for. So I'd commend Mr Newman to perhaps leave his cosy desk, wherever that is, to move in amongst the communities and ask their advice about how well they think we're pursuing this matter. And I think their advice will be as firm as it's been to me. This is the way forward, and it should be a central character of all the ways that we move forward in this area.